We are very proud and honored to have Lex Gillette with us today. Monique and I have had the privilege of seeing him speak, and he truly is an inspirational speaker. As a totally blind long jumper for Team USA, Lex has achieved medal-winning performances at every major international competition he has attended to date. His ultimate goal is to earn a 5th consecutive nomination to the Paralympic Games team and make a successful landing in the gold medal position on the top of the podium at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. He is here to inspire each of us to believe in ourselves and realize how great we can be. Please give a warm welcome to Lex Gillette.
Hello. How's everyone doing today? I just want to first start by saying congratulations to TVIA SD5 inaugural send-off celebration. This is really amazing, and to sit there and listen to these young men speak so eloquently and a lot of you talk better than I do, I think. It's really amazing, and it's really a pleasure to sit there and to be in this place, to experience this first time. So thank you and congratulations. I am Lex Gillette. I live here in San Diego County. I'm down in Chula Vista. I'm currently training for the Paralympic Games down in 2020 in Tokyo, and hopefully that'll be my 5th time going. I started really young, and just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. And as a kid growing up in North Carolina, I used to do anything that your average kid would do. I would play video games, I rode my bicycle, I played outside with friends. There was one particular day that I had come home from school, went through my normal routine, had eaten dinner with my mom, and after dinner, the routine was go to the bathroom, take a bath, get ready for bed. That night, as I sat in the tub, I noticed that something was different, something had changed. I looked down at my hands and I suddenly realized that they were looking cloudy. And I tilt my head back and look at the light fixture in the ceiling and realize that it was blurred. So I get out of the tub and I hop onto the bathroom counter, and upon looking into the mirror, I knew something was terribly wrong because it was difficult for me to see my reflection in the mirror. I tell my mom, and she comes into the bathroom and she's, what's going on? I said, well, I really don't know. My eyesight is blurred and things just aren't coming into focus. I don't know what's going on. And her thinking was that maybe I had gotten something in my eyes from playing outside earlier that day. And we took some water, we cleaned my eyes. It made it feel better, but it didn't clear my sight any. And the next thought was to go to sleep and maybe everything would be okay in the morning. And that night, I can remember laying there and thinking to myself, hey, what happened? Literally everything was just fine earlier this afternoon. When I wake up, will everything return to normal, or will I be blind? That morning when I woke up, I poked my head from under the covers and immediately my heart dropped because nothing had changed. However, I did feel like I would be good enough to go to school that day. So I got dressed, got my backpack, got everything that I needed for school, got on the bus. halfway through the school day, teachers had to call my mom. They said that we need you to come get Lex because he's not acting himself. He's bumping into things and he's saying that he's having a really difficult time seeing. My mom came, picked me up from school. After an examination at the eye doctor's, they said I needed to have an emergency operation because I was suffering from retina detachments. So I had one operation and everything seemed to be fine. It was successful. I remember being in the recuperation stages and I opened my eyes, and although my eyes were sensitive to the light, I was able to make out images again. Things were clear and I could see my mom. I was on the road to recovery. But after 4 weeks, my sight was blurred a second time. We returned to the doctor, and after a second examination, they said I needed to have another operation because my retinas had detached a second time. So we had that second operation. Everything seemed like it was fine. I could see again and again. I went through that stage of being sensitive to the light, but I just knew that this is the second time. Everything is going to be good. After another month, the same problem happened again, and my sight was blurred a third time. That was a pattern for the entire time that I was 8 years old. That year I had 10 operations to try to fix the issue, and I've had a total of 13 operations to try to fix the retina detachments. But after the last one, doctors said that there was nothing else they could do to help my sight, and they said that I would eventually become blind. From that day forward, I would go home, go through my normal routine, play outside with friends and play video games, eat dinner with my mom, and eventually go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and I would see a little less than what I did the day before, until one day I woke up and I couldn't see anything. That was a really, 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 really tough time for me, because honestly, when the doctors had told me that I wasn't going to be able to see again, my first thought was, am I going to be able to play Madden anymore, or NBA 2K? Can I ride my bicycle? And then when that day actually arrived, when I couldn't make out anything, that's when reality hit, and I couldn't see my mom's facial expressions, or I couldn't see my neighborhood where I was so used to running around and jumping and playing with my friends. But fortunately, my mom, she's really influential, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you in here would think the same about your mom. And moms are absolutely amazing. And my mom has been a really huge pillar in my life, and she told me I would still be able to do amazing things. My mom is a total athlete. My mom's side of the family is the athletic side. And I wanted to participate in sports as well. Even though I had lost my sight, I knew that I would still be able to move around and have fun and do a lot of the same things that my friends were doing, but I had to figure out a way to adjust and adapt. And one thing that had helped me out was this basketball hoop. And it was a Nerf net. And I still have it hanging in my childhood home to this day. So with this Nerf net, I remember going to the store, buying it, bringing it home, assembling it, and putting it on my closet door. I took the ball and I'm shooting. It's clanging off the rim. I can't see them, But I'm thinking to myself, well, I need to figure out a strategy. I need to figure out something that will let me know when I make a successful basket, something that will let me know when I would score. So I decided to take a safety pin and tie the bottom loops of the net together so that now a successful basket would mean that the ball would stay inside of that net and not fall through to the ground. So I take the ball again, and now I begin to shoot some more, and boom, I still, I'm not good at first, but as I began to envision where the rim was, the ball, it began to go in. And it eventually got to the point where I could stand anywhere in my room and I could drain the shot. So what I learned from that experience is that a lot of times in life we're afraid to take that shot in the dark. We're afraid to take risks and try new things. But envisioning where that rim was, that's what helped me sharpen my focus tremendously. We can go to the next slide, please. Having that focus, that's what's going to help you maximize. That's what's going to help you achieve, excel, and elevate in life. Having that razor sharp focus. And for me, the perfect illustration of that would be in 2015, I was in Doha, Qatar at our World Championships. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's already 105 degrees outside. Super hot. I need my water. I'm just blazing. And I remember standing on the track waiting for the audible cues from my guide. Now, in the long jump, I have someone who stands at the takeoff board, and he yells and claps, "Fly, fly, 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 fly." And that lets me know exactly where I need to run and jump from. That gives me that audible reference so that I know to run and jump straight ahead. And on this particular attempt that I had, I took off in his direction, and on my 16th stride, I jumped and I soared through the air. But unfortunately, I landed on the side of the jump pit. I landed on the concrete. Very painful, very embarrassing to be in front of thousands and thousands of spectators, and for that to happen, to me the first time that I had happened to that capacity, it was a challenge. It was tough. And for my guide, it was tough for him because we worked together Monday through Friday. We trained nonstop to be the best in the world, to be able to make it to the global stage to compete for Team USA. And for that to happen, it was unexpected. But I just remember telling him, I said, "Look, man, that was an accident. Things happen. We're a team. We are in this together." And I knew that the last image that people would see of me was not going to be me on the side of this jump pit. That was not going to, it just couldn't happen that way. So I got a new pair of tights because the ones I had ripped, and I didn't want to continue to moon the crowd. So I got a new pair of tights and returned to the competition. However, you get 6 attempts in long jump, and since I had that slight hiccup, I had to step away from the competition and get cleared from medical. And when I returned, I found out that I only had 1 jump remaining. So we get back on the track again, and Wesley, he stands at that takeoff board and he begins to call me, "Fly, fly, 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 fly." And this time I focused on the only thing that mattered most. That was his voice. I ran, I jumped on my 16th stride, and this time when I landed, it was in the sand, thank God. And I stepped off to the side to thousands and thousands of cheers, and the officials measured my jump, and it was 20 feet 11 inches, and that was the best jump of the competition, and I was able to win the gold medal and earn the world champion title. So. Thank you. Next slide. So each of you young men obviously have a razor sharp focus. Look at this day and this point that you have gotten to. You're amazing leaders. You devote a lot of your time to philanthropic work. You are amazing, and your future is going to be even more amazing. That's a phenomenal thing, especially to be able to learn and develop and thrive at this age. It's really huge. And so I just want to continue to encourage you to pursue that success, pursue the opportunities and these possibilities, even though you may not be able to physically see them before your eyes at this present time. Next slide. So I always like showing this. In Paralympic competition, I have to wear a blindfold. I know you're probably wondering, that doesn't make any sense. But in Paralympic competition, they want to ensure that all athletes are on an equal playing field. And so this blindfold was designed specifically for me by Nike in the lead up to Rio. I told them that, look, I want to have something that I wear that is indicative of who I believe myself to be as an athlete. Prior to me having this blindfold, I would just wear like the sleep shades that you can get out of the hotel, or just buy like some cheap pair of sunglasses and put tape over them. But that just didn't align with who I saw myself to be. And so they designed this blindfold for me. And on the inside in Braille, it says "No fear." And that's a message that my guide and I always abide by when we go to different environments, different training facilities, different competition venues. You never know what to expect. But this is something that we practice time and time again. So as long as you are prepared to do the work, when it's time to actually put it on display, then you should feel confident. You should be ready to go and be ready to succeed. And when you put these goggles on, you can't see anything through these. And although my life hasn't always been this way, this is now how I live my life every single day. Next slide. So now I want you to live in my skin for just a moment. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine your highest potential. What does that look like? What would you be doing? Your true potential. Now you can open your eyes. Next slide. Now I imagine myself running and jumping and flying. I saw myself competing in front of thousands and thousands of spectators around the world, standing on top of the podium with the American flag raised super high in the sky for everybody to see. And I saw myself winning gold medals for Team USA. Ultimately, I saw myself flying as far as my mind would carry me. And it was actually my high school teacher who saw this vision, and he helped me see it within myself. So in high school, we were tasked with participating in this physical fitness test, where you had to do as many activities, we had to do activities such as pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and you had to do as many of those as possible. One of the events was standing long jump. Stand in one spot, jump forward as far as you can. We finally complete all of our activities except for standing long jump. And eventually my group is in front of the start line where we have to stand and jump. So my teacher, Mr. Whitmer, he guided me to that start mark and made sure that my toes were right behind that tape. He said, "All right, Lex, get after it." So I remember bending my knees, putting my arms back, and boom, I jumped forward as far as I absolutely could. And when I landed, I heard the voices of my classmates, and it sounded a little bit like, whoa, wow, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so Mr. Whitmer, he comes up to me, he's laughing excitedly. He's, "Oh my gosh, Lex, they just pulled the tape measure, they measured your jump, and you jumped 10 feet. Do you know what that means?" I was like, yeah, I jumped 10 feet, right? And he said, "Have you ever heard of the Paralympic Games?" And I said, "Well, kinda." He said, "Well, it's a competition for athletes who have a physical disability, and you could potentially go to this competition, and you could break records and win medals for Team USA, and you could wear the red, white, and blue." And it was honestly something that was very difficult for me to see in the beginning. But he was very adamant about it. And each day he would continue to tell me that, "I really think that you can be successful in this." So him providing that constant reinforcement, positive reinforcement, telling me that this was something that I could do, it eventually was a vision that I adopted for myself. And it was through him that I was able to truly see. Next slide. That taught me one thing in particular, and that is there's a really big difference between sight and vision. Because sight shows us what is, but vision shows us what can be. The sight reveals to us our current reality, and vision allows us to see past our reality. And I'm pretty sure each of you can speak to this. You've done a lot of amazing things this year. Just sitting there listening to, you getting clothes, used and new clothes, and being able to deliver those to people in need and to communities that are in need. There's so many different things. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen some tough communities, but that vision plays a huge part because you can see more for that community. You can see it thriving and developing even more, and you can see it, turning from what some people may say is dark, but you are that light for that community. So that's that vision. That vision shows us what we can do, where we can go, and who we can be. And there's a lot of people out there who have perfect sight, but they don't have 20/20 vision. So I'll give you a perfect example of when I refused to allow sight to overpower my vision. I refused to accept the current reality because I had a different vision for the future. Next slide. It was about 3 years ago now, 2016, Rio. I'm down on the track. I'm actually on the brink of elimination. And if I didn't make it into the top 8 in my next jump, I would not be permitted to move on to the final round of the competition. And as I stood there on that track, I knew that I had a ridiculously difficult task at hand. The crowd was very loud. It was very echoey in the stadium. but I didn't travel all the way from San Diego, California to Rio, Brazil to come back empty-handed. Like that just couldn't happen. So Wesley set me up on the track. He jogged to that opposite end, and I literally heard his voice and his clapping of hands through all of that rowdiness, all of that noise within the stadium. And I'm focused on that because that was the only thing that mattered at that time. And when I jumped and landed, I not only found out that I would be moving on to the next round of the competition, but I eventually found out that I would, in fact, make another appearance on the Paralympic podium as I had won my fourth Paralympic medal. Next slide, please. So once I lost my sight, I saw the possibilities. You know, had I accepted at 8 years old that blindness would be the end of my story, I would have never achieved 4 Paralympic medals or 3 world champion titles or 18 national championships. Had I accepted at 8 years old that blindness would be the end of my story, I would not be the world record holder in the long jump. My best jump ever is 22 feet 1 inch. That's like jumping over a 2-lane street in most small cities. There is no need for sight when you have a vision. That is my personal mantra that I live by, and it's something that applies to every single one of us, because it's not the sight that is the determining factor in whether or not we will succeed. It is our ability to first see the vision and then do everything in our power to bring that vision into fruition. Next slide. When I was 8 years old, it was tough. It was a challenge. I know that I could have easily thrown in that towel, but it was because of my support system, my mom, teachers, counselors, friends. That support system really helped me to see beyond what my eyes could actually see. And they played a huge part in me being successful. And this is the same thing for you. You have so many people who are in your corner. You have amazing parents. I'm pretty sure you have met people, community leaders, and you have your friends. You have people who are rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. And it's an amazing thing to have that support. And it's certainly something that I'm grateful for, and you should be grateful for that as well. Know that there will be challenges at times. There will be instances where you may feel as though you may not be able to succeed. There may be moments where you feel as though you may not be able to fly. There may be times where you may feel as though you're in the dark. Next slide. But I want to challenge you to fight through that, to fight through that feeling. That's why you have your parents, your friends, and this community. They're going to help you get through these difficult times. And you totally have it within yourself too, internally. You have all of the skills, and even I can see those skills within you. Just from being involved in this organization, just from hearing a few of you speak briefly on stage a few minutes ago, like you totally have it within you to be able to succeed. And I just want to leave you with a couple of things. The first thing is that there is nothing more rewarding than seeing the building of people, the building of individuals. You possess a lot of qualities. You're resilient. You're leaders. You're coordinators in a lot of ways. You are time managers. you are a lot of things to a lot of people. And so continue to stay on that path. Continue to be focused. Don't let anything distract you. Nothing at all. And then the last thing that I would like to leave you with is you're a champion. You are a champion within your homes, within your schools, within this community, and soon to be within the rest of this world. And continue to do that for other people. A lot of times, people may not see that within them, but similar to Mr. Whitmer, he helped me see that within myself. A lot of us have something within us, and it takes individuals like you to be able to pull it out of them. So continue to be that champion for others. Continue to be that champion for yourself. And as you move forward, I just wanted to wish you all the best. Again, it's definitely tough at times, for sure. But you made it to this point. You've done phenomenal things, astronomically terrific, fantastic, amazing things. And I'm counting on you to be able to continue doing those things as you move forward in college and beyond. And again, I thank you for this opportunity. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.